We welcome you into the 11th episode of Talking Blizz with Joey Bonadonna, and this week we welcome in defensive back number 21, Tre Claybourne. Tre, welcome to the show.
Nice to meet you, man.
Hey, this has been a long time coming for Tre. Tre asked me after it was like the first or second game, and he said I had to get him on the show here, and I said you got to get one pick, and we'll get you on. But talked after the game this past week against Quad City, a great win for you guys. And you came up with that clutch breakup on the fourth down that effectively iced the game. And I told you that was good enough. We're getting you on the show this week. But overall, how do you guys feel after this win? Obviously, it was a huge one to put you guys into a playoff spot. Obviously, you have 4 more games left to play, 5 more weeks, all of them coming on the road, but you guys put yourself in a position taking down Quad City this past week. How do you guys feel going for the rest of the season?
I don't think nobody's satisfied right now. I think we still staying hungry. From the week of practice that we had, we was expected to win. Not talking down on the other team, but we just was very prepared. We're very confident when we have good weeks of practice. And we hold our own destiny moving forward, so we're going to continue to work and put the work in, but stay even-keeled the whole way because we're trying to go to Vegas.
And reflecting on this past game, obviously this was a matchup that you guys just had 2 weeks before against Quad City, and the defense struggled in that one. It was only a one-possession game at the end, but giving up 63 points. This week, outside of that fourth quarter, still giving up less than 40 points to a team like Quad City. You guys held your own, this defense, against an offensive power that they have over there. But overall, how are you satisfied? Obviously, you said you're not satisfied just yet. The end goal is Vegas. But how do you feel about where this defense has progressed over the season?
We came a long way. We've just been moving around a lot of pieces. We've been dealing with injuries, new players, personal issues and things like that. So it takes a little longer for the back end to mesh when you bringing in new people. But we've been coping with it so far. These last couple of weeks have showed the effort that we made to progress. Because last year we wasn't used to getting all these points scored on us, so we just trying to take it 1 week at a time and continue to communicate and practice. One of the major keys though that I think was me moving to safety, me being the vocal leader that we need in the back end. It was kind of difficult to be vocal at corner because I'm only able to talk to my side of the field. So me moving to safety kind of helped with the communication as well. So yeah.
And talking about comparison to last year and this year, you're one of 2 returning defensive backs. We just talked to Sean Steele this past week. But you're one of 2 returning defensive backs. The rest of these guys, for the most part, are rookies or are new to Green Bay. And you talked that there's been some rotating around trying to find that nice smooth spot or sweet spot in the secondary on the field. But what do you take away from these guys that have come in either in the middle of the season or have been here from the start, and the contributions that they've made in trying to adjust to indoor football or to Green Bay in general?
Oh yeah, it's definitely appreciate all the effort that everybody gave when they came in. Nobody came in selfish or cancerous or anything like that. So very appreciative of all the players that came through here. Just hate to see. I'm real big on loyalty and family, so like when I accept somebody, it just hurts me to see them leave. So that's kind of the hardest part for me, just dealing with them leaving after I done been in practice with them, grinding with them, and forming a bond, and then they just leave abruptly or like something happened in their life. So that's really the only hard part about it. Really, kind of missing my boy Mike Miller. We formed a good bond in camp. I kind of saw him being a great player in his defense, but unfortunately that first game that season ended in injury. So, but him staying though helped a lot because he learning a lot. He should be ready for next year if he decides to come back. But yeah, appreciate everybody that came through so far.
I definitely think that's something that a lot of people have agreed with, that Mike Miller probably was going to be that rookie that stepped up. But yeah, an unfortunate injury for him in week 1. But yeah, it has been great to have him around and seeing him still be a part of the team, even though he's not putting on a uniform for the rest of the season. Now switching over onto your story, Tre. You're a native of Michigan, just across Lake Michigan. You played at an accomplished high school with Cass Tech. Obviously, growing up in the game, how did that work for you, trying to get into football? When was your introduction to the game, and when did you know that maybe you'd be able to make a career out of it?
When I was younger, football always intrigued me. My parents were in the military, so I first remember playing organized sports in Colorado when they were stationed out in Colorado. I played basketball, t-ball, soccer, but no football. So when we moved to Detroit, I just asked to play. It took a little while. We was moving around, but we finally found a flag football team for me to start in. And I actually joined with an older group. I was only 11 at the time, and I joined with I wasn't 11. I was 10 at the time, and I played with 11-year-olds. So we ended up winning the flag championship that year. And then the year after that, I went to Little League. I started playing. I started off playing running back, and they gave me the nickname Too Fast because I beat one of the fastest players on the team. Like when I first got there, so that was he too fast or something like that. So moving forward, my first 2 years I played running back. Then I played safety when I got promoted to the A team, and I never left defense after that. And I played for the Northwest Cougars, the Little League team. Shout out to the Northwest Cougars. They kind of molded me into the player I am today. And as well as going to Cass Tech. Let's talk about Cass. I didn't play varsity until my junior year. I was behind 2 All-Americans and Jordan Lewis and Damon Webb. So I learned early how to compete for a spot or how to wait my turn. And that helped me out throughout my college career as well. I ended up starting my senior year, and I earned a scholarship to Indiana State. Then going to Indiana State, I ended up being a true freshman. I played about 4 games, and then I had to deal with some personal issues. And my sophomore year, I was actually going to start as a sophomore. I earned a spot in camp. I earned a spot in the summer, actually. And then when camp came, I tore my ACL. And then it got a little rough. New coaching staff came in. They tried to, not clear house, but they knew who they wanted and who they didn't want. So push come to shove, I didn't make the cut. And I just was blessed that a teammate of mine started coaching at Siena Heights. We went to Indiana State together. His name was Buck. He played running back. That was my boy. He called me when I was looking for a school. He was like, you want to play football? I was actually about to walk on at Eastern. And then he called me. He was like, yeah, I got a scholarship for you. Come down here, da-da-da. So we drove down there. Me and my mom drove down there to see the campus and stuff. And then the rest was history. I ended up being a 2-time All-American. We made 2 playoff pushes my junior and senior year, but we fell short 1 game both years. But yeah, though, I think my story is unique. It shows that I'm not a quitter. I faced a lot of obstacles along the way. When I tore my ACL, I could have quit. When I had to change schools, I could have quit. When they canceled my pro day, I could have quit, but I'm still here. I feel like I can still play at that next level. and I just gotta show the right people.
I definitely think that this is kind of the point in people's careers that COVID played a big part of trying to make that jump to the next level. And pro days, obviously, in the spring of 2020, didn't happen, and that's a great opportunity to get your talent in front of major scouts. And talking with so many people over this season, they've had the same story that COVID really impacted their pro days. How did COVID impact your ability to make it to that next level? Obviously, you mentioned it just now, but what was that time for you trying to get up to the next level?
So I went to a senior showcase in Texas. I did well. I had a couple teams talk to me there, but I just remember mostly when I was training, leading up to it, I was probably the only outside DB that was allowed into the Central Michigan camp because it was a couple teams interested in me. If I can remember, I want to say the Browns, the Seahawks, and the Raiders, and that's just a couple off the top of my head. But they was calling in about me, making sure I was gonna be there so they could go. And my pro day was on a Friday. COVID hit on like Saturday, and then they canceled the pro day on Wednesday. So it was a little difficult for me because I had a chance to switch my pro day to Eastern, but I just wasn't feeling the Eastern. I don't know. Like, I just trusted my gut. Like, I'm not feeling that one. I like the Central already. My agent already know the people's up there. It's not gonna be no issues or nothing weird. So I just kept with it. Unfortunately, it got canceled. And after that, it's just it's kind of just networking and who you know. I just was blessed that my agent was I forgot how he was tied to Robe or how they got in contact, but something happened and he ended up calling me. I actually was looking at like career jobs, like to use my degree, even though I didn't want to. So like that call kind of like revived me, gave me hope again. I was ecstatic when he called me actually, because I still wanted to play. I felt like I still got something in the tank. But yeah, just got to take care of business here. I actually was going to go to CFL tryout last year, but I had one of my teammates fell on my knee, and I had a partially torn meniscus, so I couldn't go down there and showcase my talent. So hopefully I stay healthy this year and then see where it takes me.
I mean, that's the story of the IFL. It is really just trying to – it is on top of winning games, but it is trying to get – that is the point of being a developmental league, is you're trying to get up to the next level and keep pushing forward. We've seen it in indoor football over its entire history of guys trying to make it to the next level, whether that's CFL, XFL, USFL, or going straight to the big leagues, going to the NFL. So that is definitely not within the realm of possibility to try and make that move. But looking forward to the rest of this season. Again, you got 4 games, all 4 of them coming on the road. This next one's against Sioux Falls, and that was a trip this last time out that you didn't get a chance to make. And this is also a big one for playoff positioning. This would win the season series between the two teams. Green Bay has never won the season series against Sioux Falls, and this would only be the second. This would be the, should there be a win next weekend, this would only be the second time that Green Bay has won in Sioux Falls. The first one was this season. What do you take into this game? obviously you got your bye week to enjoy here, but going into this game next week in Sioux Falls, it's a big one. What are you looking forward to in that challenge?
Looking for a hard-fought battle. We're kind of familiar with each other. It's actually hard to beat a team twice. So I know they're going to bring their A game. I expect us to come out on fire, though, how we usually do. We start fast. And we just going to take I'm thinking of this word. I can't think of this word. We just going to believe in the process of practice, okay? And just let everything take care of itself. We don't really like blow up games or look at games like huge. Like we kind of look at every game even, because it's 1 week at a time. Like we said, our destiny, we do hold our destiny for the future, but we like to take it 1 week at a time. So this week coming up, gonna be real meticulous and detailed in practice, mentally sharp. Make sure we executing everything that we need to get this dub.
You mentioned it at the start of the episode. You control your own destiny. You want that destiny of the future, but 1 week at a time is the process. I know with knowing Coach Roberson for the last few years, that is, whenever I had been interviewing him, it was always 1 week at a time. That's the mentality. And in a season like this, in a league like this, where I don't think I've seen this much parity in the IFL, where teams kind of seem to be all even, like anyone can beat anyone on any given night. 1 week at a time mentality seems to be like the only way to go about it. So you are not wrong there. My last question that I do want to ask, that I've been asking everyone: what's one fun fact about Tre Claybourne that Blizzard Nation would not know that you would like to share? It could be just a fun fact, a hobby you have. You just mentioned your family is a military family, but is there anything along those lines that you would have to share?
So I actually grew up in Michigan, in Detroit, but I was born in Pomona, California. My mom was pregnant with me, and she couldn't travel. Like, she traveled to go see her mom, and then she couldn't take the plane back, and then she had to stay to have me. So I was born in California.
That's me. I've always grown up a Green Bay kid, but I was born out in the Twin Cities. So like, my dad's side of the family is all Minneapolis. My sister's a Vikings fan. I'm a Packers fan. So it's like, I technically am not Wisconsin by birth, but
by culture, though.
I call myself it. Yeah. Any last words that you got going into, you get to enjoy the rest of this bye week, but then it's back to work, 4 straight road games. Any last words you got before we sign off here?
Just excited. Just hope everybody continue to support us. We appreciate all the support we've been receiving, and just pray for us and hope for the best for us, and everything will work out in my eyes.
Absolutely. We want to thank Tre for his time today. Again, this is a long time coming, but this is a fantastic episode. I shouldn't have been waiting this long on you.
It's all right, man. It's okay. You're going to interview me again in the playoffs. So
We'll see to that. We'll see. When you do get that interception, I'll have you on a second time.
All right, man. No problem, man. So
we will just wrap up this 11th episode here of Talking Blizz. Again, want to thank Tre Claybourne for his time today. Bye week this week, but next time out, the Blizzard will be taking on the Sioux Falls Storm on the road in Sioux Falls. That will be next week. Stay tuned. We will have another episode up next week before the game. The guest is to be determined. We'll find that out. But thank you so much for tuning into this week's episode. And as always, go Blizz.